Hello, JC Santana here, coming to you from the Institute of Human Performance, wishing everybody, every one of our fans, a very, very happy 2020. I am sure it's going to be an outstanding year for everyone. Thank you for your support. So we're here to talk about muscular contractions and which ones are better for hypertrophy, whether it's concentric, eccentric, and isometric. All right, not an easy question to say yes or no to. Why? Because all of the literature is not all lining up to say this is better or this is not better. As a matter of fact, this literature review that you may be interested in reading by Frenchy et al., right there, says that there's really not a whole lot of difference between concentric and at least eccentric, and I don't anticipate isometric being a phenomena in terms of hypertrophy. Now, if you're looking at the scientific evidence, it gets really specific with types of myogenetic factors and hormones and enzymes and whatnot, and that is way too complicated from a coach's standpoint. So my whole thing is my experience. What have I seen when I talk to bodybuilders? What are they doing? Who are the best guys at hypertrophy? Bodybuilders. Show me one that does eccentric, concentric only, eccentric only, or isometric for growth. You will not meet one. Granted, there's many things involved in the sport of hypertrophy that have nothing to do with training. Those set aside. So you will see all bodybuilders doing concentric and eccentric. If for no other reasons, from a practical standpoint, let's say that eccentric was a better form, or we all know that eccentric is where most of the muscle damage gets done. Okay, does that mean that you're going to get better hypertrophy? Maybe, maybe not. Or what about all-out eccentric and just some pretty good volume of moderate training concentric? When you equate for volume and workload, it doesn't seem to be any difference. Now, from a practical standpoint, if eccentric was better, okay, so what are you going to do? Do an eccentric, like on a bench. Do an eccentric. So how do you get that thing back up to do an eccentric again? What, you're going to use a machine? You're going to use people to get the bar back up and not do the concentric? So even from a standpoint of training, practicality says concentric, eccentric combination, because that's the only way you can train with good load by yourself. So if you're doing a bench press, a lat pull down, like for example, a pull-up, what are you going to do? Step up, do an eccentric. Step up, do an eccentric. Okay, what if you're in the park? So it doesn't become very reasonable to think that you're going to do one type of training versus another. And I'm telling you right now, when you train pretty well, okay, a combination of both is fine. We all know that isometric is better for a specific angle. So if you have a sticking point on any lift, isometric is something that you want to consider. If you want to get stronger, we know that eccentrics are pretty good. Why? Because you can use more load on eccentrics, about 10 to 15% on eccentrics than concentrics. So if strength is a feature that you want to work on, some eccentrics may be in order, but remember, they're very damaging. And that may be part of the benefit, assuming that you give them enough response to, or enough time to respond and adapt. So with all those things in mind, perhaps a combination would be ideal. Concentric and eccentric, I would say, would comprise 80 to 90% of your training, with some specific isometrics at sticking points if that's something that you want to handle, or eccentric if you want to increase weight. Now, with that being put aside, you have to ask yourself, how much strength is enough? Why are we even having this conversation? Why? To get past the sticking point of 300 pounds on the bench or 400 pounds on the squat, to get more muscularity on a guy who's 5'9", 220 and is maybe playing football. Maybe he's a fullback, a small fullback, but powerhouse. We know some of those guys. How much strength is enough? Is the 300 to 350 or 320 gonna make you a better football player? Is a 300-pound squat to a 325-pound squat gonna make you a better basketball player? Is it gonna give you more functionality to your jump? Not vertical jump, because everybody thinks basketball vertical jump. No, It's positioning. There's no vertical jump that can get you out of bad positioning. So with that, with that being considered, think about this. Just do your concentric, eccentric, do your normal thing. Don't crush your body, because you're not going to get past your genetic potential anyways. And we have been hurting more people that we've been helping trying to cross a genetic potential. And we think that a sticking point is holding you from being drafted or being recruited, or you think a 325-pound bench press is going to be the end-all be-all, or a 200-pound snatch. Guys, think about what you're doing. Don't worry about all this big stuff. We're replacing more hips, and we're replacing more knees, and we're replacing more shoulders than ever before. And a lot of that is because of this pursuit for stronger in the gym, stronger in the gym, bigger in the gym, bigger in the gym. And it's not parlaying to the field. Why? Because we're not training them bigger, faster, and stronger. We're breeding them bigger, faster, and stronger. You're not going to lift down to a 4.340. And you're not going to lift to become 6'4", 240 in 10% body fat range. You are not doing that through lifting, through your concentric, eccentric, or isometric. So take all this with a grain of salt. Train your concentric, eccentric. Don't go super hard. All right, and stay healthy with all your joints intact. This is JC Santana coming to you from the Institute of Human Performance.